Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So this evening on Sunday we are going to review the weekly Fanatics auctions. That ends every Sunday night. And we're going to look for some UFC cards, if they have any of the sale products, autographs, or anything in between. We're going to do some price checks, see if we're going to place any bids on them. Then also I want to do a little discussion about what I see in the UFC market currently. My perspective after reading some comments on social media and talk to some collectors in person today. I was lucky enough to attend the West Palm Beach card show at the Kennel Club today. Pretty small show, but even for a small show, I was very impressed with the amount of dealers that were carrying UFC. So that was a really good sign between singles and also sale product. And then also I met a couple of other dealers and collectors up there that are really in the UFC. So I want to get my perspective on that, and what I see is a little bit of a disconnect with what is happening at shows and how people feel about UFC than what I read online about how people feel about the sport and the future of UFC in general. So I'll kind of weave that into the conversation as we go through some auctions, but these are the top auctions ending tonight on Fanatics, sorted by highest price. Fanatics usually doesn't carry a lot of UFC items, which in my opinion is kind of cool because there's an opportunity, I think, to steal some things here. But what I want to do is just review some items here. I mean, let's see how many it is. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. It's only 21 items, so we can go through these real quick just to see anything worth bidding on or getting a good deal on. So here's a Grail card. I kind of pulled this off of one of the tabs here. The 2013 Fanatics UFC Black Octo Refractor Gem 10 Khabib. So unbelievable card. Pop 2. Definitely a Grail Khabib card. I'd love to have this in my collection. Let's see what they go for. So I'm going to copy the listing, go to my trusty card ladder. And of course, there are no sales. Let's see if we can narrow it down and take out, maybe, so there we go. Holy cow. So in 2022, this card sold for $13,000. Did not expect that. Then a year ago, it sold for $6,700. So 50% drop. Same exact card, the 6 out of 8. Is this also the 6 out of 8? Let's see. Wow, that's really hard to see. It is the 6 out of 8. So it was sold on Golden for 13. Flipped on Golden a year and a half later. Now it went from Golden to Fanatics. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one here. Is there one of these up on eBay? Let's see. There is not, but let's see if there's any other UFC 2013 Khabib up from Finest. So the out of 88 is up for 8,000. That might be a better way to do it. Let's see what similar comps have gone for. So usually what happens when a card is really low serial number, or there's not a lot of sales, you can get some perspective on other sales in similar number ranges. Like the base doesn't help, but another numbered one, like this one was out of 188, that sold for 130, a raw. So assume 130 raw and a 10, probably 300 to 400. And then it's out of 188 and the other one's out of 8. Well, here's a gold. So the gold out of 88 went for 382. I'm assuming this was a 10. It'd be pushing at least 800 to 1,000. See if there's anything else close this year. The blue refractor out of 188 and a 10 went for 535. Raw gold 400. Any other big sales? I want to see anything that stands out. That's the base refractor out at 1 for 405. This is the one we're looking at now. So what is this card worth? Well, it's worth what anyone's willing to pay, but what would be a price I would feel comfortable? Let's see, if I do the next bid, $16.20. So that would basically mean, if we go back, so that would mean it'd be a quarter of that price. So I think if you get the card for under $2,000, it's a good deal. So I'm gonna throw a bid on this just because I want to. So I'm gonna do a bid at $13.50 and I would pay $16.20 after the buyer's premium. Because I have a real sales certificate and I have a business account, it doesn't go through, I don't pay taxes. So I'm gonna bid, let's see what happens. Again, those end for an hour and 36 minutes, but I just wanna get the bid in to see if it bumps. So I'm outbid. I'm guessing this person probably has a protection bid on it, if I had to guess. I know I would for a card this expensive. Could be wrong on that, but just my feeling on it. Okay, so we put a bid on that one. Let's see, the Islam PSA 10 gold. This one I think is sold recently. Not gold, I apologize, orange, misspoke. See what this one goes for. So this one, 1,500 and a 10, but look at these big jumps, 6,000, 6,000, and then a 75% drop. That is absolutely insane. So the 25 and the 25 and then the 4 out of 25. So a different card. What number is this one? This is the 2 out of 25. So a fresh copy. So not the same one. Not that that matters, but let's see if I could. Let me get rid of that. So you want to try to get the names and remove as many words as possible to get as many hits, because you never know if people misspell things, especially UFC fighters have complicated names. Like, you want to get a wide net to hit as many searches. Again, nothing. So the last one, 15, October 19, 2023. Why do I feel like I recently saw this card? It's possible it was a different number. Here we go. The 9's up for 25. A Raw's up for 15. So the Raw's 15. 2023 did 15. So Pop 7. So if you bid, the next bid would be 1260. I'm going to put a bid in to see what happens. I'm probably going to get outbid. I'm winning. Okay. I'd be happy at that price. Definitely a iconic card out of 25. If I won it for 1260, my thought is I'm doing the card show in West Palm at the end of February. This would be good to put out as like a really high-end UFC card. Cool, let's see what else we got. Gracie 101, that's kind of sick. Not gonna bid on that though. The BJ Penn, I saw this one on Instagram. I know the dude that's selling this. This one you might be able to steal cheap. I'm gonna put a bid on this one. Just to get my name in the hat for 200 bucks for a 9-101, a BJ Penn all-time great. Outbid. The Khabib I was looking at, I don't like the way this presents. Again, it's the skin and like the smudge. I don't know. This doesn't do it for me. The Pierre. I mean, the same Pierre 9-9. Not really worried about that. This card I already put a bid on. I think this card is just cool. So it's at a 288. There's a serial number on the back. 2015 dual autoed. So these were signed after in person. I mean, you have to assume they paid at least 50 bucks an auto, and I'm winning at $35. Like, that just seems like a steal to me. Like, you put that out in a case and it'll get a lot of attention, especially from UFC Fanatics. So a bid on that one. Cape just won. So I bid on this one, 1450. I mean, sorry, 1440 is a steal out of 199. I bid on this one, I got outbid. This one's out of 50. Even though this number is lower out of 50, I like the relic on this one better, even though the auto on this is a little bit better, worse than this. But I like the relic visually. Like this weird pattern, this looks cool. Go through some of these other ones, Bass Routine, Marab. Some other ones, some of the bloodlines, older stuff. Some cheaper stuff here. Kind of steal it for a couple bucks. It kind of rounds out like the Fanatics, what I was going to do, but there's just kind of circle back when I was seeing it in the market is like this weird message online. And I see it from like UFC reporters and people that are really into it. So there's this weird thing that happens with people that are hyper intelligent and super tuned into something and like they're obsessed about it and they're locked in. Is in my opinion, they tend to give more weight to their negative biases about certain things because they're so into it and their level of intellect is so high that they forget that their perspective is so rare because they're so close and they're so knowledgeable. They forget that on the grander scale and a bigger picture, like most of the people in the space don't see what they see or process things that the way they process it. So I think they're more inclined for negative bias. So the one trend I see going is basically that after UFC went to ESPN, the quality of the product went down. The number of people that watch UFC overall is less, but there's more hardcore fans that watch UFC. And I kind of read that, and it's an interesting perspective, and I don't necessarily know if it's true or not. I'd have to do a deeper dive into the data. And I don't know if we are in the glory days of UFC or in a little bit of a downturn. I know there's less American talent entering the UFC. Overall, there's some concerns about the pay scale, that top athletes are going to other sports and UFC needs to increase the pay scale to keep the top athletes entertaining. The sport is an option viably to earn a career and earn some money and to make a living at. I can understand that point of it. But how does that all translate to collectibles and, you know, like these cards and seal wax and autographs, etc.? I think you have to have the hardcore people first, and then everything kind of grows from there. So from a collector's point of view, if the hardcore people are more than ever, and they love it, I think that's enough for me to be bullish on the collectibles market still in the future of it, especially when you're going to have a wider net casting to Paramount and more homes. And I think it just takes time. It takes time for some of these fighters' names that the hardcore people know to marinate, people to know their stories, people to fall in love with the fighter. And that doesn't even matter so much if they win or lose. It's more of how they win or lose. And the story could drive the collectibles. I think that's important to remember with UFC, that maybe is a little bit different than some other sports. Because it is, you know, an individual endeavor. So it's a one-on-one battle. It's not a team. It's not a city necessarily. It's more of like the fighter, and I would say the country, maybe. And with the global marketplace as it is, if you have a fighter from, you know, say Brazil, you will find the Brazilians who are very fanatical with UFC and collecting, like they will find your stuff and they will buy it. And I think I'm very excited about that possibility with being bullish on collectibles in UFC. And the other thing I kind of picked up on too here is I want to kind of show you this. So if you look at Fanatics, and maybe it's hard to see in this view. So if you look on the Khabib here, you see here this like button. So this is like the eBay like button, but it's for Fanatics. So here it shows 44 people have hearted this, which means that they liked it. So it's 44 people. So I want to show some other items I'm interested in other sports. Not so much to talk about those, but I want to show the likes. So this is like a Shohei Ohtani card. This has 81 likes. So Shohei Ohtani is the most popular baseball player on planet Earth on the most popular team that just won the World Series. And this card is amazing. Autograph with the patch. So it's 81 in the Khabib for a much less popular sport globally. Just to bring back the number. Where am I at here? That's not it. Here it is. Is more than half. I think that's amazing for a UFC card. And then we go to this Patrick Mahomes card. Is it 56? For a National Treasures rookie, 56 likes. The Khabib is at 44. That's over 80% of people are paying attention to this card compared to the Mahomes. I don't think this card, this is a John Elway, all-time great football, Hall of Famer, has had cards for the last 30 years, all-time great in the franchise, Denver Broncos, 57 likes, Khabib, 44. I don't know. That is pretty stunning to me. That this one fighter who Khabib is an all-time great but hasn't fought in years, or at least a couple years, and I would argue is out of the limelight, his Grail cards are getting as many likes as some of these all-time greats in other sports. The Ohtani is different because he's still an active player who just won a title and is coming off arguably the greatest bull run in collectibles history for a player I've ever seen. But still 50% of that. And then if you pull up some of the other UFC ones, if I can pull up. So like even the Islam's at 38 likes. I think that's amazing for the sport. The BJ Penn 101 at 35 likes. The point is you don't need UFC to have the most viewers in the world. You don't have to have it break records all the time. Where the sport is now, there are enough hardcore collectors and people even a level or two above that are attracted to this world. And the likes on Fanatics kind of show the numbers here. The mid to top tier of this auction has the likes that prove it, and the data is there on this brief overview. So don't let negativity get you down or that the world is ending UFC, because if you read enough on Twitter especially, that's where I get a lot of my information on Twitter. There's a lot of good data there and a lot of good UFC reporters. But man, like the doom and gloom of some of these guys, I think for every 5 negative articles, there's like 1 positive, and I get it. Like negative news sells, it gets people excited and worried, and all that negative energy feeds into more clicks and more likes and more comments, and that's how we're wired, and that's what society's about. But it's useful to extract the data from these individuals and apply it in your world, in your context, and how you see things. Super bullish on UFC cards, super bullish on where the sport's gonna go, but not irresponsible. And I think that's my message for this video. So again, like and comment down below if you got a little something out of the video tonight. Please subscribe to get daily UFC content. I'd really appreciate it. Stay safe, be healthy, stay positive. It's important. Holiday season, appreciate your family.